Hey everybody, welcome to Galactic Wisdom. I'm very happy to have Gabriella Guetzkow with me today in the studio. Thank you very much for being here.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, before I start talking properly to Gabriella, I would like people to know that I'm actually not here right now. I am I was about to say I'm in England, but actually right now, at the time of this being broadcast, I'm in Wales. Here is my events calendar in case people are interested. So I'm suspecting that this is going to be broadcast on Thursday, the 29th of March. And I am going to be at the location in Wales where they filmed the opening scenes of American Werewolf in London, hosting an alien contact event. So I'm pretty excited about that. Tomorrow, I am going to host a meditation, an alien contact meditation at Stonehenge. I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. Right now, in my Patreon group, if anybody's interested, there is a remote viewing video that I have released where if you want to, you can go in there and you can watch that video, and I will guide us together through an astral projection to Stonehenge, to tomorrow's event. And you can help by joining your spirit with ours in connecting with alien beings. And the following day, on Saturday, I am going to be in Calais, France. It's been a little while since I've spoken any French, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be doing okay with that. But I'm going to be hosting an alien contact event there in France for all of the French aliens. Okay, so if anybody's interested in joining me online or virtually for any of those events, then I encourage people to join my Patreon group, the Galactic Wisdom Patreon group, and there is the website in case anybody's interested. I'm going to leave that up while I introduce Gabriella. At a young age, Gabriella found herself naturally connecting with the Fae and Elementals that would reveal themselves to her in the garden of her childhood home. Then she read Communion, and it changed her life. She began to notice the presence of ET beings at various times in her life. She has devoted a lot of her free time to volunteering for environmental action organizations. These groups sought to change conscious awareness about how we view the lives of animals, the way we farm, and the damaging effects that animal farming has on the earth. Gabriella started practicing meditation and studying energy and metaphysics at the age of 12. She had her first interactive UFO encounter when she was 20. She later came to understand that she is a starseed. Gabriella is a Reiki master, a spiritual life coach, and a quantum and shamanic healer. She's able to see, hear, and feel her ancestors, guides, and spirit allies in a profound way. She devotes her time to deepening her abilities to connect psychically to people and their environments in order to help clear their minds, bodies, spirits, as well as their homes and businesses of negative energy and negative entities. Late last year, Gabriella began participating in my alien contact groups and immediately connected with aliens who made it clear to her that she has a larger purpose on Earth. She is humbled to be a vessel of healing, change, and transformation. Fantastic. Well, thank you again so much for being here. There's a lot of experiences you've had. Could you maybe start off by just describing your experiences with Fae and Elementals?
When I was younger, I would spend a lot of time outside. This was before the internet, and I would. They were like a ring of mushrooms, and I just would see and feel these little entities dancing, and I could hear them in I guess that was the first time that I started to have or really experience sort of a psychic connection with entities that were beyond myself. And I could hear them laughing, and they were very, very playful. They have a little bit of a sneaky, playful energy about them. And I spent an immense amount of time connecting with them outside. And also, I guess I was also just raised in a family that really embraced nature, and so I was encouraged to spend a lot of time outside. We spent a lot of time hiking, and so after I had these experiences in the garden, I started to feel a deeper connection out in forests and the environment around me too.
Fantastic. Now, these Fae, these elementals, which different species or variations of these beings do you have experiences with?
Well, I had experiences with a variety of them. There's again, like a large, there's a variety, like as in humans, we're all unique, and the Fae, while they have different categories, they all have unique characteristics. But there were like the little pixie types with the wings, and then the more like elven types, or the like more like they were more ugly and scary looking, and almost everything in between. But I gravitated and I was a little bit more obsessed with the pixie type, because I was a little girl, and I was very much into dressing up in gossamer type fabrics, and which actually ties in later to the experience with the Arcturians that I had, because I do believe that these entities, when they are connecting with you spiritually, they do present themselves in a way that will help you connect with them deeper. And that trickster, the playful part of the Fae, I believe really does help connect with people. And I felt that they were really there to help me connect deeper with Earth and the environment, and to help me feel like a transcendental experience while connecting with nature. And I felt like that was their purpose. And I feel like the more I connected with nature, the more I could connect with them too. And that was sort of the lesson that they were there to teach me in my childhood.
That's an important lesson.
Yeah.
Do you feel that they are terrestrial beings?
I do. I do believe the elemental, the Fae, I believe that they are earth like spirits. They are sort of the spirits of the earth, like manifesting the consciousness of the earth, taking like a form that we can see and connect with. Like that Gaia consciousness. I mean, and also the fact that all life forms, and that the consciousness that is in life, that is the fabric of life, how we connect with it, even just our minds, our ability to connect with it. I believe that those characteristics tend to be universal because of our shared consciousness and our shared experience of connecting with terrestrial consciousness, the earth consciousness. Yeah.
So these connections you had with these Fae and elementals, with terrestrial spirits, they acted to deepen your connection with nature, with the environment, and you became active in environmental groups. What areas of environmental issues are you most interested in?
Well, I mean, now I feel like it's a little bit deeper. When I first got into them, I got into like becoming a vegetarian, which was more for my own personal reasons, and like having the awareness of where meat came from during science class. And I like literally, that was it. I was never gonna eat it again. Like just having that awareness, like we're so shut off or so cut off in where our food comes from or how it's grown. But I had like this stark sort of realization, and and then I read a book that actually sort of really deepened my understanding. And this was when the book first came out. I mean, I'm aging myself here, but Diet for Numerica came out, and it was really one of the first books that really dealt with the environmental impacts of eating meat. And that sort of took my passion for not eating meat to a whole new level. And I really understood the environmental impact. And because I did always have this very deep connection with nature, it really, really struck a chord with me. And that we actually, as individuals, have so much power in what happens to our world, like, and that our food choices, I mean, even if the whole world were to just not eat meat for 1 or 2 days a week, we could literally have a huge impact, you know, and even everybody in the United States. It doesn't take much to change things. And that was something that I realized early on. And I will say this, like, even I'm really passionate about this to this day, that our choices, that we as individuals can make change, and that you don't have to say, well, I'm only one person. Like, that is the point. We are one person. And actually everything we do has a ripple effect. And our experiences, our encounters with other people also has a ripple effect. And the choices that we make throughout our daily lives make a ripple effect. Since actually this word and this message of how bad meat, red meat is, especially for people, and how bad it is on the environment, the reduction of meat intake has reduced by like almost 20% since this sort of information became public awareness. Since the Diet for Numerica actually first came out, the meat consumption has already been reduced. Think of what could happen, you know, if more people just decided to take responsibility for trying to have a little bit of, you know, impact on the world. And I will say this too, for people that don't believe in global warming, like, whatever you do or don't believe, like, our impact on animals and the environment does have like an energetic ripple effect. And also, like, just the amount of waste and consumption. Like, now I'm really, really passionate about the amount of waste that we're producing, like, and people that want to say that it doesn't have anything to do with global warming. It's just like, well, okay, if it doesn't matter. It's a problem that, like, most of the Nile River is like a complete plastic, like, wasteland. So for me now, like, our amount of waste, our consumption is just so insane. And it's actually doubled. Like, our consumption of plastic, or sorry, it's in the last 15 years has gone up like more than the 30 years prior combined. Like, that's crazy. And that's after we've known about like a global warming and the impact. And I remember going to my first Earth Day event when I was about 12, the same year that I read Diet for America. And I remember they gave a statistic, and this was like 1988, I think, 1987, 88. And they said, if by the year 2025, there's not some significant changes, like, we will like hit a sort of a point of no return, and it will be too late. And I remember thinking, wow, how old will I be in 2025? And by that time I'll have kids, and I'll have maybe even grandkids, kind of thing. And by then, surely things can't be the same. Like, it'll be a different world by then, because this is crazy to think that at that point in time, we already knew about the devastation of the environment and the changes that were happening. Anyway, so now here we are, it's almost 2025, and our plastic consumption has gone up more in the last 15 years than 30 years previously. It's pretty disheartening and sad. But I just feel like instead of using that as a reason to give up, we should use that as a reason to want to change, and to, you know, like, really, and again, like, this connects with my experiences, which I'll say later. But yeah, I'm extremely passionate still about all of this, but in a deeper way, I guess, a different level.
Yeah,
because it's more urgent.
I share your concern about environmental issues. This show is called Galactic Wisdom, and part of being wise is to be able to determine what is the truth. And it has been an established, proved scientific fact for at least 50 years that global warming is real. It's measurable. And, you know, we can talk about, well, some people don't believe this, but knowledge beats beliefs. Global warming is happening. It's very serious. It is provably identifiably real all around us. And I'm a scientist, and I just need to state this as a fact for our audience. Global warming is real, has been real for, 50, 60 years. And it is the most important issue that is facing this planet right now, because literally we are accelerating to the uninhabitability of the planet, of most areas of the planet, maybe I will say, in the next couple of decades. This is happening now. This is serious. This is real.
It's very real.
This
so
is
thank
urgent.
You for saying that. Yeah, thank you for saying that. No, it is, and it's pretty shocking when people do debate it.
Yeah. Now, you're in contact when you come to my alien contact events. You were able to connect with beings quite easily, and they have been giving you environmental messages. Can you maybe speak about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's practically every time now that I've been connecting with them, and I'm multiple beings, different beings. Every time the message is the same. Now that is, things are dire, and there are beings coming forward that never really revealed themselves before, that didn't seem to want to be in contact with us before, that are coming out now, because it is so urgent. It is so dire that we think like we are not affecting other, like everything is affected, like what even our earth and our everything that we experience here has a ripple effect too, and we will affect not just ourselves but other beings through our actions. But they are warning us how dire that if we don't change things like immediately, we are on a collision course with disaster, and there really is going to be no going back if we don't wake up and deal with this. And they also, can I talk about some of the other things that they've been telling me that tie in with this? They also keep referring to they keep saying that we planted the seeds, and now is the time for those seeds to bloom and to come in, to awareness. So they're telling me that they planted seeds in consciousness of people that were born of a certain time period, and now they're coming into awareness of this consciousness. So, and I see this all around in people that are getting into meditation, that are turning towards plant medicine, that are suddenly turning towards mind body things that they weren't before. And I definitely see this awakening, and I hear people calling themselves starseeds, but these beings are telling me it's a seed of conscious awareness that if things did not change, that would be, awoken in us to help us usher in a new era of consciousness, a new era of light on earth as beings, like ascension, to raise our vibration and our frequency, and that is happening now. This awakening is happening, and that the people that are starseeds have sort of a duty to help humanity, like change and make better changes, different changes, so that we can stop this like collision course with destruction that we have set out for ourselves. So we've done to ourselves, and we continue these cycles of violence and hate and destruction and self-destruction just keep getting perpetuated. And that's why it's so important that we take responsibility and to make different choices in our lives, and to not sort of give up our hands and say, well, nobody else is doing it. Like, no, it's up to us as individuals to do that. And they cannot stress this enough. And the emotion behind their communications with me is so intense and powerful that I will often just I almost can't even speak afterwards. Like it's all telepathic and like emotional communication, and the seriousness, the urgency is so overwhelming. But I will say this also, their love for us is overwhelming. Like, I have never felt so loved and supported and like in like this most like this embraced way on every level. And so they really want the best for us. Their intentions are incredibly good and true and powerful. And they are like, you have this life. This is an amazing gift. Like, humans have this awesome ability. Like, we have these bodies that can experience so much joy and pleasure. And if we were to love each other, and love feels so good, and they're like, you guys, we're loving you, like love, like if we could just, you know, and I know it's like kumbaya, but it's not, it's beyond that. And it's so important. And it's all a part of this conscious awareness and the shift that needs to happen. And so that's what the message that they keep giving to me is, you know, love is the answer, compassion, empathy. You know, if we have empathy for each other, empathy for the animals, empathy for the earth, like that the earth is a living system. And so our impact on it has an effect, and all consciousness is like a singularity. Like, we are all, like, our consciousness is our divinity, and that connection with it is so important. And that's what they're here to tell us. We're connecting with them telepathically through these groups, and like that's their message, and it is loud and clear to me, and it's very, very moving and powerful. And I'm grateful to you and the groups that you've put on, because they've also made it clear that you, because of the work that you've been doing, that's why like these connections have been happening like pretty much instantaneously for me and for others in the groups. So thank you.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome. And
very important.
We have a lot of people like you who have been coming to our groups, guided to our groups in a lot of cases. And a lot of them have this seed of consciousness within them that is awakening and trying to have a positive impact on the world. And so our groups are just amazingly bright and loving and ascended places to be.
They are. And the groups, like, I mean, you can feel, like, because I can connect with them, and people that we are all connecting, we can see each other and feel each other on sort of this astral level. And I know, and the beings will also affirm that it is this collective energy. And that collective energy is also something, especially the Arcturians had a message for me about that it doesn't happen as an individual. There is a collective that happens that can help you even go further. You can go far yourself, but when you connect with others, you can go even further. And that is a beautiful lesson that the Arcturians have, you know, really affirmed, and also that is mirrored in your group, and really powerful experience for me personally when I have that experience of connecting, and that experience of connecting being sort of a catalyst for connecting with other beings beyond us, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's a gift. So thank you.
So these beings are giving us, and have been giving us, a very clear message for decades. We're approaching environmental disaster, extinction level environmental disaster.
Yes.
Now, humans are not going to become extinct, I don't think, but the population is going to crash from billions down to millions. And this is an unpleasant message, really. I mean, it's a well-intentioned message, but it's not very nice for human beings to wake up to and say, wow, this is where we're going. And I'll be open with people. We're not going to be able to avoid this now. This is happening. But what do we do with that as people? Do we say, well, there's no point. There's no point then. Let's just do whatever we want, and to hell with everybody else. And, you know, but that's not the message they're giving to us. The message they're giving to us, and the message that they're wanting us to give to the world, is there's so much we can do. There's first of all, on a personal level, do you care about your own spiritual growth and maturity? Do you want to just be a typical dark human with all these dark tendencies that does dark things and causes darkness, which is what most humans are.
Yeah. Well,
even if they don't feel like they're dark, if they don't know
right,
all of the background of where their food comes from, all the background of the harm that they're doing unknowingly, they're still a being of darkness.
Yes.
We can learn about this stuff, and then we as individuals can make the decision to be beings of light.
Yes.
To ascend as individuals. That in itself is a wonderful thing. Who doesn't want to be enlightened, ascended, wise, mature, happy, loving, projecting light throughout the universe? That is what we can be as individuals.
Yeah.
And that is the first thing for us to do.
Agreed.
When we do that, as you were sort of alluding to, when we do that, we then start to pass on that brightness to others. It spreads, and it will make what is the dark things that are happening now and in the future less severe. So it's a matter of severity in the future.
Yeah.
But also, by doing this, we connect with them in a way that we are going to be connected with them through the disaster to the other side. And then all of us together, all of us ascended people, beings of light, we're going to have an earth that is free to do with not as we wish, but free to mold, to develop into a much better version of what our planet can, should be.
Yes. And another message that I've gotten from them is that they sort of keep also alluding to a time period, like when the pyramids and things were built. And that is a time when I believe these beings were here, like mixing and being present and aware that people on Earth were aware of these beings. Thus, like these myths with like bird-like beings and mythology that have sort of and snake-like beings that have, or reptilian type beings like that are in these mythologies, right? That are there. That I do believe that is what they're saying, that there is going to be a time now, and us connecting with them now is building the foundation for that, and is helping evolve our consciousness to that time when we sort of have this like starting over period, this sort of cyclical aspect to it also, and to consciousness and to our evolution, and tapping into our full potential as humans. Like we just are missing the mark, I feel like, on what we're capable of in terms of transforming the world around us through our conscious thought. And I completely agree with you. It's those choices that we make also, and how we make the different choices that we make in our day-to-day lives. But I also believe the reason why people are so dark, another level of that, is the family trauma and the family systems and this sort of paradigm, and this like hierarchical paradigm that people are, and this like Judeo-Christian Islamic like paradigm, and just where organized religions were like systems of control and government, and they kind of used spirituality and manipulated it for systematical, oppression pretty much, and creating like hierarchical systems within the family. And people don't understand, because hurt people, and it is our turn to sort of wake up and say, I'm going to be different in my family. I'm not going to create these same cycles of abuse and hurt. I'm going to choose forgiveness, compassion, love. And, these are not easy choices to make, to work through and to heal yourself, to forgive others that have hurt you, and to sort of be the bigger person, and to just let go of the anger, to let go of the toxicity in your own personal, in your own sort of psychological drama, of holding on to these negative cycles. Like, I just believe very, very firmly that we have to shift that within ourselves and just choose to let go of needing to be right, of needing people to get our exact point of view, like, and just love people, love ourselves, forgive them. And, you know, if we can't force people, but we can love them. And love has so much power to it. When you bring light to the dark, like, that's the only thing that can dispel the dark. Nothing else can get rid of the dark but the light. And it's so powerful. It's such a powerful tool transformation. And it takes work, and it takes focus, and it also takes a lot of just resilience and patience, you know, and self-compassion first, and self-love first. So I really, really feel powerfully about that, strongly, I should say.
Definitely, yeah. Now, you've had some interesting experiences with Arcturians.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to explain the experiences that you've had with these amazing beings, these tall, blue, beautiful, Arcturian, benevolent beings?
Yeah, I would love to share. Actually, the first time I participated in one of your online groups, it was actually like a global meditation and a global peace meditation online group. And I literally, like, I had been walking my dog for the first part of the meditation, but I can just kind of go into a meditative state pretty easily. So I sat down right when you were sort of visualizing everybody coming together around the earth. And as soon as we did that, as soon as I like saw us join in a circle, it was like I felt this whoosh, like, out of my body, like my spirit just came right out. I like astrally traveled, like in this, like, almost like a portal, like going through this portal, and I could see it, but I was feeling like I was on like a roller coaster, like my stomach, everything was moving and whooshing. I could even hear like a whooshing sound. And all of a sudden I was like in this very dark space, and I kind of looked aside, and I could see like a planet lit around me, like illuminated from some other light source behind. And it was almost like maybe I was like either in this, like on like a platform or something outside of this. And all of a sudden these like little stars, like they looked like little gaseous balls of light, started dancing around and like flying around. There were like 5 of them flying around. And all of a sudden they like came in formation, these little balls of light, these stars like formed in a circle around me, and they manifested into they transformed into these beautiful blue beings. And they all look very feminine. They all look very similar, but different. They had very similar, very large, like almond eyes that were dark, and their skin was blue, but it was like luminous from the inside. It was they just had so much light shining out of their bodies. And they were in a circle, and like kind of directly across me was a being who turns out was Sashki. And she had this like garland of those stars. Like she had like a garland of them around her head, and like this beautiful sort of tulle type fabric with these silver stars and like galaxies and like swirl designs on them in this very shimmery, silvery mesh fabric. And that was like something like this kind of thing that I would have loved as a little girl. I got the sense that she did that so I would connect with her or feel like a more deeper connection to her, and that I would appreciate the beauty, that I wouldn't be scared by her sort of presence, that I would appreciate this. And they all had sort of these like blue suits around, and it wasn't like they were holding hands actually physically, but I felt like energetically they were all connected and holding hands, and almost like holding hands with me too. I had a sort of look to see, and it felt like they were I felt so much love. First of all, that was like overwhelming. As soon as they took form, I realized that these stars were like their souls traveling, like them traveling to me And I was enveloped in the most compassionate, like non-judgmental, completely unconditional love that was so overwhelming, and that it took my breath away, the amount of love that I felt. And I felt so safe. And they had a message. Their message for me was that, because at that point, I really wasn't advertising my work publicly. And their message to me was that I needed to do that, and that I needed to help spread the message of love and compassion to help the world, and that I needed to do this. I needed to believe in myself. I needed to be brave. And these are things that, again, have been coming up with other beings too, to be brave, to stand up, to do what's right, and to believe in myself and this work, and that there is truly a higher purpose to it. And it was like, as soon as I really heard and understood their message, it was like, boom, like I was back into into here, and you were coming out of the meditation. I mean, the timing of it was pretty impeccable and amazing too. It was like you were sort of bringing everybody back together, and I just remember being like, what? That just, like, wow, that was my first experience with it, and it was amazing. And the like the shape of their skulls too, like everything was so vivid. Yes, there you could see like the shape of their skulls, and then these stars, although she had the garland at the time. But yes, that picture really is almost identical to what I saw, but there's almost no way to replicate it, because it was so they were so beautiful, and it was like the physicality of it was so real. Like they were, even though they came from these star beings, like I could have reached out and like traced their features, like I could see the eyes sunken into their head, and the shape of their small nose, but like, and their cheekbones, and the brain, almost like the way the skull was shaped, everything was so defined. And it was just, they were beautiful. It was amazing. It was completely life altering.
Wow. And you mentioned that the name of the one in front of you was Sashki. Mm-hmm. Sashki is somebody that I've known for quite a while.
She told me that was why I was meeting them, that it was because of this group that this was happening, and because of you and this group that I was meeting her, and that in particular, and that they wanted to help me on my journey, and that it was because of this meditation and this group that I was having that experience. Because I wasn't sure if it was her, and I asked, and I just got this like overwhelming feeling of like, yes, this is me. And then I heard like that you're having this because of this group, and because of Rupert's experience and connection with us. So it helped connect me to that experience.
Fantastic. So if you were to have any advice for anybody that's watching this about how they can experience that kind of thing, what pieces of advice would you give to people?
I think that it's really important to not have super high expectations of yourself. I think don't pressure yourself. The more you worry about doing it right, getting it right, doing all the right things, I think the more you're in your head. The most important thing is to just focus on your breathing and the relaxation, like listening to your voice, like really just doing the steps and not thinking about getting it right, just doing the best they can. Just do the best they can. And even if they're not doing the best, just try to do it step by step, and not beat yourself up and not psych yourself out. And then when you do start having experiences, or starting to, start to think you're seeing things or hearing things or feeling things, don't judge them and think, is this real? Is this in my head? Am I making this up? Because like being able to still that part of your mind, or quiet your inner critic, is really important, I think, to these experiences too. And not even to quiet it, just say, you know what, that's me. That's my like human brain working overtime, and that's natural. It's natural. You can't always quiet our thoughts. That's like a misnomer, I think. It's just letting those thoughts come and go. Okay, well, now I'm just going to get back to my breathing, and get back to the relaxation. Like if you start thinking them, don't freak out. Oh my God, I'm having bad thoughts. Like again, it's like a trap. You just can, it's a negative cycle. You just stop it by getting back in touch with your breath. It's very simple, and just trust yourself. And don't, if you start to experience things, keep doing it, keep practicing. They call meditation a practice because it's a practice. Some days are better than others. Like sometimes like we had an experience a couple weeks ago and I just went into this like really deep, dark, relaxed state and I didn't have any experiences. So even though it's easy for me to connect more because I've been doing this for so long, it doesn't happen overnight to most people. It does take practice. And I would say just even trying to meditate for 10 minutes a day, or at least 3 times a week. That's what I try to tell my clients. 2 to 3 times a week. It doesn't take much. It really, the changes can be so profound with such a small amount of time. Even if you just set your timer and focus on your breathing and breathing in and out slowly, or just focusing on your breath for 10 minutes, or like repeating the word Om, or you can look up other mantras that you might connect with, or just a word like love over and over, or look at a candle, just to help focus your mind and do that 5. You could work your way up to 10 minutes even. The more you practice, it's a practice. The more you practice it, the easier it will be when you join in a group like this to connect.
Great. Those are all good pieces of advice. Now, you've been to some of the remote viewing sessions where we've communicated with the Galactic Council. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us about any of those experiences?
Mm-hmm. The first time we, I had an experience of seeing like the spider being, but that was interesting because I didn't know what it was right away. Like I could see like the shape of the eye, and it was so unusual. And then I could just sort of see this like the form of it, but my brain just could not like understand what I was seeing. And so afterwards, when we exchanged notes, somebody said it was a spider being, it would like click, like that was the outline of this thing that I was seeing in the eyes. And then I also in that experience though, I saw that first. And then there was this like very tall being that I saw that was like one of the ant beings. And it was so quiet and stoic. And it was sort of the opposite of the experience I had with the Arcturians, because they were so like loving and bright and warm. And the ant being was so like stoic and still. And its exoskeleton was sort of shiny and dark and this deep, sort of brownish color and like reddish brownish. And I was like, and it reassured me that it was there to help us, and that it had this message of why it was here, and it was here to warn us and to get us. It was, again, the most dire, urgent message, and it was sent out of love, and it was sent because they want us to survive and they want us to evolve. And it was, again, an incredibly powerful message. I also saw a mantis being and the mantis, all of these beings were all there with the same message. But I really connected with the ant being that time. And then we just did another Galactic Federation. Oh, and also I saw the ship, and it looked almost like or like a star of fate, or like the 6-pointed star, like one triangle overlapping another triangle. And then it had like this rounded sort of bottom to it. Somebody drew a picture and it looked a lot like the picture actually, but from a different angle. Like it, so it could look like almost like a different shape from different angles, which was fascinating. And the ship had like this like, you could see like it was like the ceiling, but then the ceiling sort of opened up. Like you could see, it was like one of those cars with the moon roofs, like that you can see completely through. It was like that. And it was amazing. And then, oh wait, no, actually it was the floor that was like that. I think somebody else thought it was the ceiling, but I actually saw it on the floor beneath us, that it was opened up. And I have the feeling that it's like, it can go 360, that if they want to see outside of the ship, they could sort of make it appear because somebody saw it in one direction, I saw it in another. But it became obvious to me that it wasn't always like that. That sometimes you could see the closed shipness, and sometimes you could see outside if you wanted to. But they were showing us that they were outside of the Earth and that they were very much present here, and they want to connect with us. That's another message that I keep getting from us. They want people to connect with them. They want people to grow their consciousness to be able to consciously connect with them. They want us to ascend and grow. And they're here for us when we are ready. When we are ready to. So I think that people just have to trust the process when they do these CE5s. That these beings do want to connect. They want to help us grow. They've planted these seeds for a reason. They are very invested in humanity. So we just need to open our hearts up and come with a place of love and wanting to learn and to grow from them. And they will meet us. They will be there. You just have to trust that they want us to do this because they want to help us. Like, it's very important.
Why do you think it is that we as a group have been successful in connecting with beings like the Arcturians and the Galactic Council?
I think that it's because of the intention of the group. I think that's very important, that it is a very moral group, that it is a place of love, and that we are really coming to them. And you always make it like I believe it's, a lot of your intention too, and your intention with the group, and that you really do want people to sort of come at this from a place of evolved consciousness and pure intentions, and that we're not coming to them to ask them to save us. And that's something that you always make clear. Like, they are not going to say, we have to save ourselves. And that's what they want to hear. That is really how they feel. And when we come to them out of a place of love and just purely wanting to connect, that's what they're looking for. That's what they're waiting for. That's what they want from us. That is a place of growth for us as human beings, to sort of take our rightful place in the universe. And they want nothing more than that for us. Like, they believe in us and they know we have that potential. They just want us to live up to our potential. And I believe that your group nurtures all of the things that you need and helps give people the tools that they need to do that, to make better choices, healthier, more holistic, spiritually aligned, with evolved consciousness choices. You have a whole set of documentaries and lifestyle choices, and you always lead these meditations in a place of love and connecting with the light and connecting with each other. And I think that's really important. And also, I think the people that are drawn to you tend to be of a certain ilk, a certain vibration. And I think that, that kindred spirits, that collective just amplifies that message of love and wanting to connect from a place of unity and compassion and love and growth. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also, to add one last thing about the Galactic Federation. The one other being that I saw this last week was like this guy that looked white, and he had like blonde hair. I mean, he looked human, very like a white human, like I guess some people say they look Nordic, but I don't know. I didn't get to know where this being was from, but he made it clear to me again, like about about starseeds and consciousness, and that he told me that they were a part of my healing, because I went through my own. I had like a lot of health problems at one time from a traumatic brain injury, and that part of that with the starseeds and the growth and like that healing, and then now it's time. And so when I healed, like the timing of it, and that he just kind of confirmed that they have been with me, and that they played a part in that. And so that was pretty amazing and cool. And cool.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We're actually approaching the end of this show, so I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to sort of wind us down towards the end. I do just want to share this image that Laura Walker, our good friend, did of the ant-like being. And we were in a group of 10 people, and 5 out of 10 people saw this same ant-like being.
Yeah.
And a few people who were there drew pictures of the ant-like being, and there it is. We've decided to call, as of yesterday, as of last night, this ant-like being an Antian, because they don't speak English or have a human dialect, so we can't comprehend their noises.
Right.
So we are
clicks.
we're just going to call them Antians. But when you're in a meeting, when you're in an astral projection remote viewing, and so many people are seeing the same thing, that is proof that what we're seeing is a collective experience, that these things are really in front of us, that we're really communicating with them, saying the same things. Now, on Sunday, in my Patreon group, we are going to connect with this being, this extraterrestrial being called Tuk Tuk. And this is a picture by Laura Zoller of how Tuk Tuk initially appeared to us in humanoid form, but then when we got to know her better, she showed us her true form, which is more like a teardrop shape, an upside down teardrop shaped. And this is my picture of Tuk Tuk with us astrally projecting to her. She's a healing being. She will come to people in our meetings and give spiritual healing. If you would like to participate in that group, then please do check out. Please come to this Patreon group and join this Patreon group for a healing on Sunday. I would also like to encourage people to consider joining KGRA. KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network has many shows every day, quality shows about paranormal, ascension, spiritual things, and they're awesome. And when you join KGRA, if you enter in the promotional code word Galaxy, then you will get a discount. So I think that's just about it. If you're in England or Wales, then do check out my events in England and Wales. Come and join us in 2 days' time in Stonehenge if you can. If you live in France, come and join us in Calais on Sunday. That will be a fun event there. I would like to thank Gabriella once again for being with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. And I'd like to thank everybody out there who is listening, who is watching. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. And take care, everybody. And I've got to find the outro music. There it is. Goodbye for now.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, everyone.